Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to Parenting Without Panic. I'm Olga, and today we're talking about a child who might be in your home right now. The child who says no to everything. The child who questions every request. The child who digs in their heels and refuses to budge. The child who makes you wonder, am I doing something wrong? Why is everything such a battle? Well, my friends, I have news for you. You're not doing anything wrong. In fact, you might be raising a future leader, entrepreneur, activist, or innovator. Want to know how I know? Because that stubborn, determined, strong-willed child, they have gifts that the world desperately needs. We just need to learn how to work with them instead of against them. And that's exactly what we're doing today. So take a breath with me. Because we're going to transform how you see your strong-willed child. And I promise, by the end of this episode, you're going to feel so much better about those daily power struggles. Let's dive in. Let me tell you about Emma. Emma was 4 years old when her parents brought her to me. They were exhausted, frustrated, at their wits' end. The mom said, Olga, she fights us on everything. Getting dressed in the morning? A battle. Eating breakfast? A battle. Getting in the car? A battle. Bedtime? Oh, bedtime is World War III. She said, Emma's favorite word is no. Her second favorite phrase is, you can't make me. And you know what? She's right. We can't make her. She's so strong-willed that if we try to force her, it gets worse. The dad told me they'd tried everything. Timeouts, taking away toys, sticker charts. Nothing worked. Emma would rather lose all her privileges than comply with something she didn't want to do. They said, is something wrong with her? Is this normal? Are we failing as parents? And I looked at them and said something that surprised them. Your daughter is not broken. She's not defiant. She's not a bad kid. She's strong-willed. And that is actually a gift. They looked at me like I had 3 heads. A gift? How is this a gift? We can't get through a single day without multiple meltdowns. And that's when I started explaining what I'm about to share with you. Strong-willed children are different. They need different strategies, different approaches, different understanding. But when we learn to work with their temperament, everything changes. So let's talk about Emma, and maybe your child too. First things first, we need to change the language because words matter. When we call a child difficult, defiant, stubborn, obstinate, we're labeling them as a problem to be fixed. But what if we reframe it? What if instead of difficult we say determined? Instead of stubborn we say persistent? Instead of defiant we say strong-willed? Do you feel the shift? These aren't bad qualities. These are leadership qualities. Think about it. The people who change the world, they're persistent. They question authority. They stand up for what they believe in. They don't back down easily. They were probably strong-willed children. Martin Luther King Jr., persistent. Rosa Parks, strong-willed. Malala, determined. Every entrepreneur who built a company from nothing, they had to be persistent in the face of no. Every activist who fought for justice, they had to be determined when everyone told them to give up. Your strong-willed child, they're practicing these skills right now. Yes, it's hard for you. Yes, it's exhausting. But they're not broken. They're not bad. They're powerful. And our job isn't to break their spirit. Our job is to channel their power, to teach them how to use their determination for good, to show them how to be persistent and respectful, to help them become the leaders they're meant to be. So from now on, when your child digs in their heels and says no, take a breath and think, this is determination. This is strength. This is a future leader. Now, how do I guide them, not break them? So what exactly is a strong-willed child? Let me describe the characteristics, and I bet you'll recognize your child in this. First, they have an intense need for autonomy. They need to feel like they have control over their lives. When you tell them what to do without giving them any choice, their brain screams, no, I want to decide. It's not about being difficult. It's about needing to feel powerful in their own life. Second characteristic, they question everything. Why do I have to brush my teeth? Why is bedtime at 8? Why can't I wear my pajamas to school? And you know what? This is actually wonderful. Because questioning things is how we learn, how we innovate, how we make sure rules actually make sense. Yes, it's exhausting for you, but it's their brilliant mind at work. Third, they have intense emotions. When a strong-willed child is happy, they're ecstatic. When they're angry, they're furious. When they're sad, they're devastated. There's no middle ground. Everything is big. Everything is intense. This is because they feel things deeply. And you know what? That emotional intensity, it creates empathy, passion, drive, all the things that make great leaders, artists, and advocates. Fourth characteristic, they're persistent. Oh boy, are they persistent. If they want something, they will ask 75 times. They will negotiate, they will find every loophole. They will not give up. Which drives you crazy now. But imagine that persistence applied to their career, their goals, their dreams. They're not going to quit when things get hard. They're going to push through. That's a gift, my friends. Finally, they're often more sensitive than other children. They notice everything. They pick up on your mood. They feel injustice deeply. When something feels unfair, they can't let it go. This sensitivity, it's what makes them fight for what's right. So these characteristics, they're not problems, they're powers. We just need to help them harness these powers. All right, so how do we parent these amazing, exhausting, strong-willed children? Let me give you strategies that actually work. Strategy 1, offer choices. But not unlimited choices, controlled choices. 2 to 3 options that you're okay with. For example, instead of saying, put on your shoes, we're leaving, which triggers immediate resistance, you say, do you want to wear your red shoes or your blue shoes? Or even better, do you want to put your shoes on now, or do you want to carry them and put them on in the car? See what happened there? You gave them control. They get to make a choice. But both options get you to the same result. They're wearing shoes. You're still leaving on time. This satisfies their need for autonomy without giving up your boundary. It's brilliant. Try this. Which vegetable do you want with dinner? Broccoli or carrots? Do you want to do homework before or after your snack? Do you want to take a bath now or in 10 minutes? Controlled choices are magic with strong-willed kids. Strategy 2. Explain the why. Strong-willed children need to understand the reason behind rules. Because I said so? That's like waving a red flag at a bull. It triggers their need to question and resist. Instead, explain. We need to leave now because if we're late, the doctor's office might cancel our appointment. We brush teeth because sugar sits on our teeth overnight and can cause cavities, which hurt. When they understand the logic, they're more likely to cooperate. Because it's not about obedience, it's about the reason making sense to them. Strategy 3. Channel their energy positively. Strong-willed children have so much energy and drive. If we don't give them positive outlets, that energy comes out in negative ways. Let them be the leader sometimes. Put them in charge of a project. Ask their opinion. Give them responsibility. Emma's parents started letting her make the grocery list. Suddenly she was invested. She was proud. She was helpful because she had power in a positive way. Strategy 4. Pick your battles. You cannot fight about everything with a strong-willed child. You'll lose your mind. So decide. What really matters? Safety? Yes. Respect? Yes. Kindness? Yes. What they wear to the park? Who cares? Whether they eat the carrots or the peas? Doesn't matter. Give them wins where you can. Save your energy for the battles that truly matter. This isn't being permissive. This is being strategic. Now let's talk about what doesn't work. Because if you're doing these things, you're making it harder on yourself. First, power struggles. Listen carefully. You cannot win a power struggle with a strong-willed child. You just can't. They will dig in, they will escalate, they will outlast you. Every single time. When you enter a power struggle, everyone loses. So how do you avoid them? You step out of the struggle. You stop making it about winning. Instead of, I'm the parent and you'll do what I say, you say, I understand you don't want to, and we still need to do this. How can we make it work? You're not giving in. You're problem solving together. Second thing that doesn't work, because I said so. We already talked about this, but it bears repeating. Strong-willed children need reasons. They need logic. They need to understand the why. Because I said so shuts down their thinking brain and activates their resistance brain. Give them the why, always. Third, trying to break their spirit. Oh, my friends, this breaks my heart. Some people think strong-willed children need to be broken, dominated, shown who's boss. No. When you try to break a strong-willed child, you either crush their spirit entirely and create an anxious, people-pleasing adult who's lost themselves, or you create a teenager who rebels hard, who sneaks, lies, and pulls away from you. We don't want either of those outcomes. We want to guide their strength, not break it. Their strong will is going to serve them beautifully in life, if we don't destroy it first. And finally, punishment-based discipline doesn't work well with strong-willed kids. They'll take the punishment, they'll lose everything, and they'll still hold their ground. Because for them, autonomy is worth more than rewards or avoiding punishment. This is why positive discipline, which we talked about in episode 6, is so important with strong-willed children. They need teaching, understanding, problem-solving, not control and punishment. Let's talk about celebrating these amazing children. Because yes, they're challenging. Now. But let me tell you what strong-willed children become when we parent them well. They become entrepreneurs who start businesses because they won't settle for working for someone else. They become activists who fight for justice because they can't stand to see unfairness. They become innovators who question the way things are and create something better. They become leaders who stand up for others, who aren't afraid to go against the crowd, who persist when everyone else gives up. Think about it. Every person who ever changed the world, they had to be strong-willed. They had to say no to the status quo. Your child is practicing that right now. Yes, they're saying no to bedtime. But they're also learning to trust their own judgment, to stand up for what they believe, to not back down when challenged. These are gifts. In my 33 years working with families, you know what I've noticed? The strong-willed children who are parented with respect and guidance, they become the most incredible adults. They're confident. They're principled. They know who they are. They don't crumble under peer pressure. They don't compromise their values. The children who are compliant and easy, sometimes they struggle as adults because they never learn to trust their own voice. They spend their whole lives trying to please everyone else, but strong-willed children, they already have their voice. Our job is just to help them use it wisely, with kindness, with respect. So when your strong-willed child pushes back today, take a breath and think, this is a future leader. This is determination. This is strength. And I'm raising someone who's going to change the world. Now, how do I guide them today while honoring who they'll become tomorrow? Let me give you some specific scripts you can use today. These are words that work with strong-willed children. Instead of put your shoes on now, try this. You can choose red shoes or blue shoes, but we're leaving in 5 minutes. Which ones do you want? You're giving control while maintaining the boundary. Instead of eat your vegetables, try this. We need something green on our plate for a healthy body. Do you want broccoli, green beans, or peas? How many pieces do you think is enough? When they resist and dig in, instead of engaging in the power struggle, try this. I see you have strong feelings about this. Tell me more about what you're thinking. You're validating their feelings while staying curious about their perspective. When you need them to do something non-negotiable, try this. I know you don't want to leave the park, and it's time to go home for dinner. Would you like to walk to the car or should I carry you? Your choice. See how that works? You're acknowledging their feelings, staying firm on the boundary, and giving them control over how it happens. Here's another one. When they question a rule instead of because I said so, try this. That's a good question. Let me explain why we have this rule. We don't run in the house because someone could get hurt if you slip or bump into something. When they understand the why, they're more likely to accept it. And when they've done something wrong, instead of punishment, try problem solving. Uh-oh, we have a problem. You threw your toy and it broke. What should we do to fix this? How can we make sure it doesn't happen again? You're making them part of the solution, not just punishing the problem. These scripts take practice. They feel awkward at first. But I promise you, when you start speaking this language with your strong-willed child, everything shifts. Let me tell you about a child I worked with years ago. I'll call him Marcus. Marcus was 7 when I met him. And oh my goodness, he was intense. Everything was a negotiation. Everything was a debate. His teacher said he was disruptive. His parents were getting calls from school constantly. He questioned every instruction. He argued with everything. And you know what everyone wanted? They wanted to fix him, make him compliant, make him obedient. But I looked at Marcus, and I saw something different. I saw a brilliant mind that needed to understand why. I saw a child who felt powerless and was trying to reclaim power the only way he knew how. I saw a future lawyer, or teacher, or activist. So I taught his parents the strategies we've talked about today. Give him choices. Explain the reasons. Channel his debating skills positively. Pick their battles. His mom started saying things like, "Marcus, you clearly have strong opinions about this. Let's write down your argument and we'll discuss it after dinner." She was honoring his need to be heard, while maintaining boundaries. His dad started letting him lead family meetings. Marcus got to create the agenda. He got to facilitate discussions. Suddenly, this argumentative child, he was channeling that energy into leadership. His teacher started giving him classroom jobs, making him the line leader, asking his opinion on classroom rules, and you know what happened? The behavior problems decreased. Not because Marcus changed, but because the adults changed how they saw him and worked with him. Last year, I ran into Marcus's mom. He's 17 now, and she told me he's captain of the debate team. He volunteers with a youth advocacy organization. He stands up for kids who are bullied. He's exactly who I thought he'd be. A leader, an advocate, someone who uses his strong will to make the world better. And she said, "Thank you for helping us see his strength, instead of trying to break it." That's what this is all about, my friends. Seeing the strength, honoring it, guiding it, not breaking it. All right, friends, homework time. This week, I want you to give your strong-willed child 5 meaningful choices. Not fake choices, not choices where you don't really care about the outcome. Real choices, where they have genuine control. Here are some ideas. Let them choose what to make for dinner one night. Within reason, you're not making ice cream sundaes for dinner, but they can choose between 3 options. Let them choose the route you take to school or the park. Let them choose what activity the family does on Saturday. Movie night? Game night? Nature walk? Let them choose how to arrange their room. Where should the bed go? How should they organize their toys? Let them choose their own clothes for a week. No input from you, unless it's wildly inappropriate for the weather. Just bite your tongue and let them wear the superhero costume to the grocery store. And here's what I want you to do. Pay attention. Notice how they respond when they have real control. Notice if the power struggles decrease in other areas. Because when strong-willed children feel heard and respected in important ways, they're more cooperative in the small ways. It's like filling their autonomy tank. They don't need to fight about everything, because they're getting their need for control met in meaningful ways. And one more thing. When they make a choice and it doesn't work out perfectly, don't say "I told you so." Instead, help them problem solve. What happened? What could we do differently next time? We're teaching them that they can make choices, and that mistakes are learning opportunities. Try this. See what happens. I think you're going to be amazed at the shift. My beautiful friends, thank you for being here today, for being willing to see your strong-willed child differently. I know it's hard. I know you're tired. I know there are days when you just want them to listen without questioning everything. But here's what I want you to remember. Your strong-willed child? They're not broken. They're not bad. They're not too much. They're strong. They're determined. They're powerful. And the world needs people like them. People who question injustice, who stand up for what's right, who don't give up when things get hard. Your job isn't to break their will, it's to guide it, to teach them how to use their strength with kindness, how to be persistent and respectful, how to be a leader who lifts others up. And some days, you're going to fail. You're going to yell. You're going to enter a power struggle and regret it. That's okay. That's human. Just apologize. Repair. Try again tomorrow. Because parenting a strong-willed child isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. Just like them. If this episode helped you, please share it with another parent who's struggling with a strong-willed child. Because these parents, they need to hear this. They need to know their child is a gift. And hey, I would love to connect with you. Follow me on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Parenting Without Panic. I share daily encouragement, practical tips, and real-life moments. Because parenting strong-willed children, it's hard, but it's also incredible. Until next week, my friends, honor the strength, guide the power, celebrate the determination, and remember that you are raising a future leader, even on the hardest days. Take care of yourselves, breathe deeply, and know that you are exactly the parent your strong-willed child needs. See you next time.